Good morning and welcome to A-1 Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for July 18th. Michelle and Jeannie are actively doing the event. Jeannie's going to be joining us in a moment here. What I always think is funny is seeing names on the live stream that are also people attending the event. You ladies like to multitask. I am in the store today until about 4 and then out through the weekend. Jeannie will be here both days. Once again, we are pretty caught up on service, and the guys wrapped up training yesterday. So a shout out to Charles Sweeten. Thank you so much for training our guys. I know Dax learned a lot, and I think Dax will find himself being more efficient. And Adam, who's a newer member of the team, is going to absolutely crush it. Charles had nothing but kind things to say about the guys when he wrapped things up. He's like, your guys are great. And they are great. And we couldn't do it without them. So we do remain like 2 days out on service. So it's a great time to get in before folks recognize that we're back. And we get right to it. I did mention yesterday that we'll take some technical questions today. So happy to take some technical questions if folks want to ask anything. And Jeannie needs to get off the phone. So I'll leave the floor open to folks who want to ask any questions about their machines, technical questions, something like that. So I did have somebody ask a question that I thought would be pertinent to answer, which is, hey, welcome, Candace. Welcome to the family. So somebody asked yesterday, I wonder how the thread got into my thread lock situation. And so the reality is, like, everybody always asks that question, how does that happen? And my answer is always, you need to tell me. The take-up lever cam, and this happens on all machines. We see it on all different makes and models, but there is a cam that sits behind your take-up lever that every time that take-up lever goes around, that cam spins. And if there's ever a loose thread and the loose thread gets caught around that cam, the cam, take a picture of that, please. If the take-up lever, I just saw something very interesting. We're like, I wonder what's going on, and we just found it. That take-up lever cam never stops spinning. So if there's free thread in the machine at all, and it's not like hanging out of the bottom of the machine, or if you've ever like cut your thread off at the top and you don't fully remove all the thread from the machine before operating the machine, it will get caught on that cam. That cam is a very high stress area of the machine. And it's one that we leave oiled. And so the reality is, the thread will get caught around that cam. Two things happen when that happens. The longer the machine is operated with thread wrapped around there, because nobody does this intentionally. And everybody always goes, well, I thought I got it all. If there's any thread that remains around that cam, as that cam operates, the thread goes deeper and deeper into that cam. And then two things happen. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And the thread also absorbs the oil. People always ask when we remove the thread, you need to get off the phone and come on the live stream. As we operate the machine, and that thread pulls in and it absorbs the oil, everybody always goes, what color was the thread? If there's free thread outside of the cam, we can answer that question. But the thread that comes out of the cam, it's always black. And the reason that thread is always black is it absorbs the oil. It's sitting between two dissimilar metals, a steel fulcrum and a brass bushing. And the reason that they do that is the brass bushing is kind of the sacrificial lamb. It's the part of the machine that will wear, and it's built like that so that, it doesn't destroy the whole mechanism. I saw a picture yesterday of one that was replaced where they replaced both items. And quite frankly, I don't think that was necessary. They only really needed to replace the brass bushing. The steel cam was just fine. And so, but the thread we pull out of there is always black because you have two dissimilar metals that causes the oil in that area to oxidize, and the oil is absorbed by the thread, and that causes it to turn black. So 9 times out of 10, you ask us what color it is, and I go, well, it was black. And you go, I wasn't using any black thread. Well, it could have been white thread. It could have been green thread. It could have been red thread. That's what happens. So if you are, and this is speaking to brother and baby lock owners, applies to all machines though, Berninas, Fofs, Vikings, etc. If you're operating your machine on the brother machines, if there's too much torque necessary to turn the hand wheel, you'll get a safety device error. One of the first things that I will ask you is, can you turn your hand wheel? You have to turn the machine off because the safety device keeps the machine from turning. But when you turn that hand wheel, if it's super, super, super tight, or if it can't turn, don't continue operating the machine. That is thread lock. You need to take the machine into a dealer. Everybody always goes, can I deal with this? And what happens if you deal with it is you don't open that cam, or you damage that cam, because some of those screws are reverse threaded, and you need to know which ones are reverse threaded or which ones are regular threaded. And you actually have to disassemble the left side of the machine to get access there. So I recommend that a dealer does it. That way it doesn't go back together wrong or anything. We've seen some destroyed machines where that happens. And you've got to open that cam and get all of that thread out of there in order to fix it. And one of the things that had happened to the person that sent me the email yesterday is there was enough damage to that brass bushing. I kind of went, what happened was she had taken it to a dealer, and the reality is as soon as she got home, she started using it. The machine locked up again. I think they pulled the thread out of there. They oiled the heck out of it, and then they sent it home, and they hadn't gotten all that thread out of there, and the brass bushing was so damaged that it needed to be replaced, which is okay. It's an inexpensive part. It's designed that way. But the reality is if you have thread lock, it's much, much better to get a tech in there that's going to open that cam and get all of the thread out of there before, the machine is operated again, because it's something that sometimes a couple of drops of oil will make the machine operate, but it's just a bad idea. It just damages the machine. Let's see here.
So long.
Is this the place Ginny announces her new sew-alongs? Yes, like we do announce those here. What thread do you not recommend for our machines? The most problematic thread is Floriani. but it's beautiful thread and a lot of people use it. So your mileage may vary. What I would tell you about Floriani is, and there's some other brands I'll mention in a second, but Floriani kind of has a special place. Floriani's wound with an opposite twist. Like they wind their thread a different way than other people do. So tearing thread, shredding thread, stuff like that is an issue that's more common to see with Floriani as far as premium threads are concerned. Tons of people use it with no problem. I would never tell you not to use it, but what I would tell you is if you're having shredding, tearing, stuff like that, try a different brand, similar color, and if you don't have a problem, then you know it's the thread. And that's the brand of thread that most of the brands, it was funny, like Janome, Elna, Baby Lock, Brother, all said the same thing. If I called and said, I'm having this problem with this machine, and this is the brand that we're using, the support techs at those companies would all say, use a different version of thread, because they're trying to isolate thread as an issue. Tons of people use it. If you have a ton of Floriani, feel free to use it. But if you're having problems, try a different thread of a different color. And before we assume there's a problem with the machine. Sulky, once again, people use it without issues, but we see a ton of issues around sulky, and that's a thread where we've gone in and have replaced sulky, and then all the problems go away. So sulky is another thread I wouldn't recommend using. But premium brands of thread are all pretty good. And like, you know, anything from Metler to Isocord to Glide to the Exquisite thread. What are some other premium brands of thread? Like Wonderfill has been great.
I mean, they're all
there's
Glide,
like
Isocord, Robeson Anton, Pacesetter. I'm a thread whore. Can I say that word on the live feed? And I use it all. I'm like, oh, what's this in my stash? I didn't even know I got this. So I have all sorts of thread. I even have some bad thread that I shouldn't have in there, but the color was right, so I kept it. And I have a hard time throwing things away. So, yeah. Just, but a good premium. I always tell, and this is how, like, you know how we always say we sell like we buy. And what I tell my kids is don't buy the cheapest. You don't have to buy the most expensive, but just, I mean, don't buy the cheapest. I feel like cheap.
Buy quality
Yes.
is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, and so there's such thing as buying value too. Like sometimes in my store, you're going to find products that we think are the best value.
Like the Exquisite thread sets or so. Like
Yeah, we carry those because they're
value.
such an amazing deal.
Yeah,
We can
great
sell
thread
them and
at a
make a
great
little bit of
price.
money at 50% off, and there's no other thread that we can do that with.
I always tell Patrick, I like high quality, low price. That's what
Value. That's value.
Yes, I like value. I like value.
So, Kathy asks, why does my Baby Lock Meridian not pick up the bobbin stitches at times? There's tons of different reasons that might happen. And if you're talking about the fact that you may start sewing and it's not stitching, I mean, the number one thing that I would think of is that your pile is dirty.
I've never known that.
Or that your pile is missing. And so when
Do you
the
guys
thread,
know what the pile is?
I'm getting there. When you use the automatic cutter on your machine, the thread is pulled into an area where there's a piece of what looks like felt. And that felt pinches the thread in such a way where when the upper thread comes back around in the few stitches, it picks it up. It holds it so that it's tight enough to be there. If it's really, really dirty and there's a bunch of thread trimmings in there, then it doesn't hold the thread properly and it's just dangling there. And when the thread goes by, it can just, knock it loose. Or what happens with phenomenal frequency is people clean their machine and that pile, because it also holds little ends of thread, that pile looks like dirt. And so they take their tweezers and they grab and they pull the pile off. And so that in my mind would be probably the number one reason that would happen. But there are multiple reasons. Like, it's one of those things where, in my mind, if it's happening a lot, it's a sign that your machine may be ready to be serviced. If you're talking about skipping stitches, that's a different thing. And what I mean there is, like, the machine is stitching along and then it skips a handful of stitches. If it's skipping stitches, then what I would tell you is, I think that is most likely a culprit of a need for a new needle, using inappropriate needles, or the machine needs to be serviced because it's out of spec. The timing, clearance, and needle bar height need to be checked.
Yeah, I was sewing on my buttons. I finally finished up Star Spangled Beauty, and I was sewing the buttons on, and like half the time it wasn't picking up the thread. And then I just said to myself, persistence beats resistance. And I just kept doing it. And then it would pick up. But sometimes I'd grab my upper thread and hold it taut. And sometimes I just keep doing it over again. And I can't even explain why it wouldn't work and then why it would work. What do you think of that, Patrick?
Normally, what happens in my household is I hear a screamed, Patrick!
I didn't scream.
Well, what I'm saying is, a lot of times you'd yell for me and I'd come down and take a look.
I yell for Patrick when my frustration level gets like, and then I can't even see straight. You know when you can't even, and then you can't even see straight and you can't even accept what's happening.
Somehow you're mad at me.
Because that makes me happy. That relaxes me.
I walk in and I'm like,
it's called transference.
I used to joke, there was a period in our lives where I'd walk in from work and she'd be mad at me and I'd be like, I just got home. Why are you mad at me?
That's called perimenopause, menopause.
That's the one lesson I wish my father had actually prepared me for. That should be part of the 101 ways or 101 things you must know to be a man. My dad said to me, never try to understand a woman, which is remarkably wise. And was a very interesting way of saying it. But yeah, he should have been a little bit more clear on that one.
Yeah. So persistence beats resistance sometimes. I was just persistent with those darn buttons, and guess what? I got them on.
So, do you suggest horizontal or vertical placement for Floriani thread? Like, I would actually tell folks, if you don't own Floriani thread, it's not an investment I would make. And so what I'm saying there is, because it has there's that problem potential, like, I'd make an investment in a different thread. Having said that,
if you guys ever want like a full collection, I'll do like special pricing. If you ever want to, if you're thinking about investing in all the colors of Floriani, give me an opportunity to quote you on either Isacord or Glide. Because we can always do special discounts. I always just reach out to my rep and say, what can you do if we buy the whole thing and it's shipped to this address? So let us know.
So regarding vertical versus horizontal, like, I have very little experience, although, like, meaning I don't have an answer, like, and I don't really have an opinion. I do know a lot of folks do suggest using it vertically, and it all has to do with the way that it's wound and that it's wound on the spool. How about thoughts on using Schmetz versus Organ? Any high quality
needle.
Any high quality needle will work. The only thing that I do say is, like, and that means like Grotzbecker, Class A, Schmetz, Oregon, Best Premium, the Inspira needles, which actually are just made by Schmetz, I think.
Yeah, and like, you're gonna notice, like, I buy the anti-glue needles, and I've bought them from Best Premium and Madeira and Oregon, but they all say Oregon. Like
there's
the
a
thing-
lot of crossover in
Yes.
thread in needle manufacturing. Having said that, I think any of the high quality needles are great. What I would tell you to be careful of is like Amazon needles. Like I had a customer at one point come in and like, why can I get these? Like I can get a magazine of needles for like a magazine has 100 needles for what you're selling, like 2 5-pack 4s. But what's funny is like the packaging looked identical, but it came in a different box that said made in China. So the needles, and I can't remember if the needles were made in Germany or made in Italy or made in Pakistan. And that's what we would see from our suppliers. So it arrived in a package that looked identical to what we sell, but it was in an outer package that said made in China. It was a total knockoff. And the needles looked different. They were brittle. So just be careful as to what you buy. I always tell folks, most of you have Ferrari machines. It's time to put high test gas in it. Don't cheap out on thread and needles when you're looking for premium performance. That book is a must read, and I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, I thought about it literally when I got asked to be in this wedding was the first time I'd thought about that book in about a decade. And because literally about a decade ago, I was like, well, that ship sailed, and that's a part of that book I'll never do. I need to find that book, and I know it's in my possession, but I need to find it and give it to my son.
What's it called?
It's like 101 Things You Must Know to Be a Man, which is a very like 50s or 60s name for a book. Like, I don't know if they could write a book like that right now.
Is it every boy needs to know? Every boy.
Look at this. 101 thing.
Oh, every man should know.
It's every man should know.
Maybe they don't even make it anymore.
That doesn't look like the book.
Yeah, that looks like. Maybe they reprinted
but,
it.
But, I mean, the book was old. I think it was literally my dad's book, which means it was from, my dad died in 95 at 67. So my dad was born, you know, the book probably was from the 40s. But there was a lot of really valuable information in there. Some of the stuff was outdated, but most of it was good. Let's see. If you use thread vertically, Cindy Hogan recommends that you don't use a spool cap. That is very true, but you might want to use a spool net.
Yeah.
It's 9:54.
We have some stuff to talk about.
Hurry.
Okay, so everybody has done their part except for me. So I told you that we're going to be doing that little Kimberbell Day thing. I don't know. We don't have a name for it yet. But the 3 design packs that we're basing it on are these. So, and you don't have to get all 3 of these, and just get what speaks to you and makes your heart happy. But these are the projects we are doing. This Wreath right here, and Karen bought in her sample yesterday. Isn't it cute? I think it's 11 by 11, so it's a little bit bigger than just the 8 by 8 little pillows that are done. This was 3 hoopings, and it was one of those, it really makes you appreciate the new designs that they have and how they have everything. But this is an older design, and it was done in 3 hoopings, and there are 2 different sizes. So even if you have a 5 by 7, we will be kitting it this size though. And Karen's going to take you on a journey with this one. So she's going to be doing the pillow. Here we go. Isn't it cute? And these are the exact fabrics that are going to be in your kit. They're going to be different from what is pictured because a lot of these have been discontinued. So this is going to be project number 1 with Miss Karen Bowl. This is going to be project number 2 with Michelle, and it's all Kimberbell fabric, but we did kit it differently. And then project number 3 is going to be me, and all I can show you is a picture because I haven't done it yet. But we're doing the mug rug, and these are going to be the fabrics for the mug rug. So I'll have it for you next week, and then it'll go online, It'll go online and we'll start selling it next week. It's not up there now. The sew along will be free. So that's just something you can join us for. Even if you're not even doing any of the projects, you can just sit and do a sit and sew with us. The more the merrier. Okay. So I also wanted to show you, oh my goodness. This is a kit that we have in the store. Suzanne, who teaches our accessory class, long-armed it for you, so I wanted to show. It's so cute, but you have to see it. Whoops, you have to see it in person. It is so cute.
Did I hurt you?
So, you know, for me, some people might not love this, but I absolutely love it. So this is the kit. Isn't it cute? What's the kit called? I have the kit right here. This is...
I feel like I'm doing that dog trick where they like, and then they disappear.
Yeah. Here I am, but I'm reappearing. I came out the other side. It is so adorable. So it is called Ghoul Friends Panel Kit. It goes along with, you know, the little those little Halloween stockings that we have, so that we still have those in stock. And then here is the fabric kit. Hey, Graydon, do you think we could, what price do we have this online for? It's $69.99. Yeah, will you check and see? And we'll put it up at a little bit of a discount. But this is the fabric kit, and the quilt itself is so cute. Who doesn't love smiley pumpkins and gourds and squash and all that kind of stuff? But it's, so it's like 10% off. So it is on sale on the website, and it is really adorable. So if you're looking for something fun to do, this one's great. I know, like, Suzanne, her binding was so cute. She did a flange, but she made it a beefier flange than you're going to see normally. And I think it just looks so adorable. Oh my God, it's really, really cute. You got to see it in person. We'll hang it up in the store. So I also just got these in too. So if you are a fan of Jane Austen, we have the machine embroidery design. This is going to be from Riley Blake, and it's Frisk. Am I saying her name right? It is from, what's her name? You know, she does so much cool stuff. Frisk. Right? I think she's the designer on this one. So this is the library quilt. And these are so sweet. If I can find the time, I really want to stitch these out. But there's also the Jane Austen needlework designs. And this is all machine embroidery. I know, you're not seeing it well. But the designs are so sweet. And I just ordered some of the fat quarter bundles that go along with this. So the fabric, I don't have it yet. It's not even up. But I just ordered that too because the projects are adorable. I don't know if I can do the library quilt. I just don't think I have the bandwidth. But I am definitely going to try and stitch some of these out. That's a little tote bag. There's like a little wall hanging and something for the embroidery hoop. Because not all of us have those skills that Debbie West has. I don't know if you've seen some of her stuff posted, but that girl has some mad needlework skills. I was like, I saw her post, and I just looked at her and was like, I want to do that. It's like, maybe Debbie West will take me under her wing when I have time someday. These are so cute. So these are on the website as well. Karen was here. She picked up her kit for the jar topper. She will be doing these as a sew along. I don't know if she's going to do all of them, but these are the seasonal jar toppers. Just want to remind you, this is what the fabric kit looks like for the jar toppers. They're a ton of work to put together. Lori's been doing that for us, so we absolutely love those. Was there something else that went with this? Maybe we'll talk about this next week. Michelle's got a patch class coming up because I think she did one that was Art Spera driven. And there's going to be another patch class if you don't have Art Spera. Maybe you don't have any of the brother machines. So there's going to be a class going on for you guys as well. Oh my God. This was so cute. So we did put... I got to show you the table runner. These are so I met with Karen yesterday, and that's why everything's not up on the calendar. Next week will be a big week for us to get a bunch of these houses on the calendar. A lot of them are going to be free sew-alongs. So, and you know, get the fabric kit and then do the sew-along with us. But you don't have to do that. You can use your stash. This is the table runner from Americana, and it is adorable. And I just finished making some more of those kits. There's one fabric I'm waiting for. So if you're waiting for Autumn Love, and this is from Riley Blake, and I am waiting for one fabric, although you can easily make a substitution from what you have. This is what the Americana table runner looks like, and in person, it is so to die for. It's not huge, but it is so cute. You could easily double it, and I love the rickrack that went in here into the binding. And this is, the border is pieced. That is a piece border. Miss Karen and I were talking about what ways it could be done to make it really easy as far as like your measurements and what you're doing. Oh yeah. Oh, so here is, and then we laughed because the backing was so perfectly placed. America the Beautiful. And that's just the backing fabric, which is so adorable. And you know what's really fun is having some embroidery projects here in the store. You know I love Kimberbell, but it's nice having something different, right?
Like, I couldn't imagine.
What was going to come out of your mouth that you stopped saying?
I mean, I have a friend that we call the missionary.
You do? We do?
Because he skis the same thing all day, every day. and I'm like, this is a man who's just fine with missionary all the time.
Okay.
And so you're obviously not like the missionary because you like to mix it up every now.
We're talking embroidery here. Oh my God, Patrick. Okay, yeah.
You're like, you know, you're like, I get a little sick of it every now and then. It's like, I need to change it up.
We're changing it up. So we're throwing in some Riley Blake, some Janine Babbage, and God darn it, I want to throw in some Sweet Pea too. Yeah, we are not doing just one thing here at the store. But don't you guys...
Jeannie's blushing.
Don't you guys love this? This is so cute. I was like, how long did that take, though? Is this like a huge project? So, but a lot of these, like this is just flip and fold piecing. Flip and fold piecing. And then you've got the stars that are in the middle. So I think, Karen, you know what we always say? Like when we go through a project, I always go, okay, if it took me 2 hours, let's plan on 4. So we'll see what we can get through, and maybe there'll be some pre-class prep with something like this. Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about, too.
It's like the same thing every day, all day, every day. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you can do this, but, you know,
yes,
works for you.
I mean, but Kimberbell, it's like, it isn't the same, because, I mean, it is the same designer, right? And, but I like that because...
Kimberbell's the best at what they do.
Yes.
They have figured it out. There's not really many mistakes. There's not many problems.
Yeah.
Like the other designers are working very hard to catch up. But like the point is, like, you know, it's nice to hit a fresh line every now and then.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So cute. So we are like, we got a date on, I'm waiting for it because I like to put everything out when I have it all. So, I think it's maybe like middle of August is when we're going to do, or it's third week of August, we're going to do the pillow. And then this will probably happen in September. So, because there is one more fabric I'm waiting for that fabric kit. So, but I couldn't wait. I was like, oh, let me show it to him next week and I have everything. It is so cute. I mean, it is adorable. Like, how cute is that? And the colors, and it's something different, and just like, I love it's Lori Holt. And Lori Holt's got her own style, and that style really is beautiful. So,
how about a question
things.
for the day for, I've got one.
Wait, can I know what it is?
I've got one. So I've got a question of the day, but this is for the Korea giveaway.
Yeah. This is for the Korea giveaway, and that one is cute. Did you see the flooding over there?
That's in her family's hometown.
Yeah,
and we were there.
And it was so beautiful and like nice. Well, it was hot, hecka hot. But I sent Patrick a video and oh my God, I sent you an article. So the article mentioned 3 places: Seoul, Sosan, which is where my mom's family is from, and Gwangja. Am I saying that right? Which is where we went to the island. And I was like, am I remembering this right? And then I read and it said a little island off the coast of Seoul. And I was like,
that's where her favorite cafe was.
That's where the cafe was. And I thought,
you should have seen.
What?
You were so stinking cute when you walked into that cafe.
Oh my God,
you walked in.
You come through
and
a tunnel.
You were just like, oh my God, look at this place.
Because you didn't even know there was a building. I didn't even know the tunnel opened up into this huge building.
It opened up into what was the original textile factory in Korea.
Yeah. So it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. You come through this little tunnel, and I thought it was just going to lead me to another room with a little bit of some antiques here or there. And it was it opened up into Neverland.
And then it opened
Neverland.
up into multiple rooms, and it was, the designer was.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. We're gonna plan a day there because it was cool.
Candace, did make me blush.
The first
Patrick Mulligan
Catholic church in Korea is in that town, and then the first textile factory, and all these museums around textiles was in that town.
Yeah, which was crazy. We didn't even know, and my cousin didn't even we were trying to figure out what to do that day, and we were in Incheon,
and we went to a famous shrimp floss restaurant that was
the best ever. Did you see the video I did? You could see their eyeballs. I'm gonna make you eat it. Just don't think about the eyeballs. Just eat it.
So good.
It was really, really, and everything I pointed at, the guy who owned the restaurant kept going, "Oh, I grew that in my garden."
Well, and then I think he was incredibly flattered by Jeannie's overwhelming praise, and he started pulling out the big guns.
Yeah.
He started pulling out the hardcore banchan and
yeah, it wasn't originally on the plate.
Yeah.
He didn't bring it out originally.
He was like, "Oh, hang on, check this out. You like this?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, this one I grew in my garden too. This one you can only get on this island.
Yeah,
this
the turnip kimchi was really good."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, it was just incredible."
It was really special.
So, anyhow, what my whole point is, we have a lot of exciting stuff. And then the other point is I need a little time just to get it up. But we're going to have some great classes. Most of these are going to be starting in August and September because I need time to get all the product. And then I need time to get it to you. So we'll be ready. And you want to ask the question?
Yes.
So the questions for the Korea giveaway.
We've got some new people on the live stream. So we do a giveaway almost every Friday. We generally will ask a question. Those questions cannot be answered in chat, which is what's happening live here. You have to wait until the live stream ends. And then I'll answer Leslie Ninas's question in a second. And then down below there is comments, and that'll open after the live stream ends. It remains open through Tuesday, which is when we'll do the giveaway. But the question of the day is, given how hot it is and the fact that people are looking forward to other seasons, and then given the fact that our business always slows down, we remain it kind of slows down in the spring around tax time. It gets really busy through the late spring, early summer, and then July and August get kind of slow, and then stuff goes crazy in September. And that's a cyclical nature of our business that I hear pretty consistently from other retailers as well.
Would you ask?
The question is, when is your favorite time to sew? When is your favorite season?
I'm a fall winter.
Why do you like that season? Tell us why that season is your sew time. But when do you like to sew the most? And And why? What season, what time of the year?
I think sewing's cozy. Like sometimes you're draped in fabric, and if it's summertime and it's hot, it can get hot. And who doesn't love all of those like fall and winter projects? And then we're sewing for family, and we're making gifts.
Okay. So, and then,
Were you like waiting for me to shut up?
I was. And then,
You're like, we didn't ask you. I asked them.
So Leslie asked, when bringing in a machine to service, do you need to bring in the arm? So if it's an embroidery only machine, then yes. There's not a lot we can do to the arm. So if there's a problem with the arm is loud, it's not moving okay, it's clicking or making strange noises. It's a good idea for us to get in there, but it's literally a scenario where it's like 2 drops of oil and kind of cleaning stuff up. In my mind, it's not necessary every time you service the machine. Maybe every other or every third time is fine. I charge $20 to service an embroidery arm. Other dealers tell me we're crazy for that, but that's literally the amount of time that we put into it. It's like a 10 or 15 minute thing. We're $99 an hour is how our service is calculated. So if it's an embroidery only machine, then yeah, it's a better idea for us to have the arm. If it's not, then it's not totally necessary, but the call is yours. If you feel like it needs to be serviced, service it. It's only $20 in my shop. Some dealers
I've never had my arm serviced.
I've opened your arm and have dealt with stuff before though. So you're not fair because you have a tech who lives in your house.
What have you done to my arm? I've never even asked you to.
Well, like, remember you were having issues with things sliding. I tightened up your belt at one point. Like, the reality is you haven't had to and if something ever goes wrong, you just go, Patrick, and I show up.
That's true. That's true.
Sharon asks, is there a way we can donate to the channel for all the feed tutorials and information you share? Just do business with us. Yeah. We just ask for a fair shot to earn your business. Let's see. Toadstool class.
Oh, yeah. Oh, funny you should ask about that. There's going to be 40 kits. That's it, because the fabric instantly sold out. However, I found another amazing fabric that will work equally beautiful. But Lori just started cutting these. I am looking for one more fabric that's going to go like around the border part. A light one, but this is going to be for our vial toadstool. And it's hard to see, but that's a grunge. That is a grunge, and this is called Acorn Hollow. It's a new fabric by Moda that they just put out, and this is the project that they're talking about, which is vial toadstools. I actually sat down to try and work on this the other day, and I'm just not ready. Maybe after the next update.
So and somebody just asked if I had heard anything about the next update. We did get an email, and I think Avenir customers that have registered their machines probably got a very similar email. Sometime in early August is 1.09. It sounds like the 1.09 update is massive.
Okay.
And they did recommend not to do it wirelessly. It recommends very clearly to do it old school and to do it with a USB, and we could certainly. They've had it since September.
New arm. Oh, wow.
So, and I'll address that really quickly. For any of you who think the supply chain is back to normal, it's not. And it is probably, with everything going on tariff wise and everything else, it's still a couple years out. Like, companies did their best, but like factories shut down, stuff happened, and the supply chain is still ironing itself out. I had somebody with a Solaris that needed a new embroidery arm, and I think that took 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next update is supposed to be a big one. And let's just talk about the Avenir for a second. So I had a long conversation with Charles. So Charles spent 3 days in our store. He's the head of QA from Brother. And the only thing I'm really going to say about it is we're all frustrated around the time and how long this is taking. Having said that, it's all happening very quickly from a company perspective, meaning like they're accomplishing a lot in a short period of time. Whether or not the Avenir should have been launched when it was, that's a question that I'm not qualified to answer. But Charles spoke with confidence about the machine will be perfect. He kept saying that to me. And it's funny, at one point I saw Terry Moffat, who's a longtime Brother influencer and Brother ambassador, talking about it, like there's precedent with Brother having, dealing with problems. And the reality is, like even she said, I'm confident Brother will make it perfect. But I just felt really good about my conversation with Charles about the fact that it will be perfect. It is a gorgeous piece of hardware, and they will get it ironed out. And so, we appreciate the patience, whether you did business with us or not, of getting through it, but they will get through it. And I'm confident it'll be amazing. But it does sound like this 1.09 update is a big one, which is why it's taken a long time for it to happen. And then we need to get going. So
Yes.
Last but not least,
did you ask a question?
I
Oh
did.
yeah. What season do you like to sew? And
why?
And why? And Vile Toadstools will be happening. It's going to be a fall project. It's going to be an IQ designer project. So that's in the queue.
I think the more advanced features that you use, the more likely that you are to run into issues. And I did have a conversation with Sean, and it's funny because he goes, he's like, your users tend to fall on the advanced side. Like there are dealers, like if you're not using the most advanced features in the machine's been perfect. And so, I think our biggest challenge is we've created monsters. We've created folks who really use every attribute of their machine. In their email to us, they did say that the consumer email was going out. They didn't say it had gone out. So if you haven't gotten the email, don't freak out. It's coming. There isn't a date in my email. It just says in the first couple weeks of August. So, Lainey, if you're local, bring it in. We can take a look at it. But if it doesn't go up and down anymore, it may be that you've got that thread lock we talked about at the beginning. Okay.
All right.
Anything
Onward
else
and
we need to talk
upward.
about?
No. Have a great day. Be creative and make something awesome. And we will see you next week.
All right.